That wasn't, okay. We good? Yeah, okay. And the mic is on. Can everyone hear online as well? Brilliant. Just can't use these things. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. This is the first edition. Why? Oh, hi camera. I was going to walk around. This is the first edition of the Stockholm World Water Week Family Feuds game. If you're English like me, it's Family Fortunes, okay? We have got 2 teams who will be competing for the camera for these very beautiful special edition, one-time only trophies, okay? The goal of this session, we're going to be talking about the challenges for scaling innovation, okay? And in true game show host style, we have some rules. Assuming the clicker's, yes, okay. So the rules are, each team has been asked the questions in advance, and they will be trying to guess what the other team said. Before you get smart, you had different questions. So you can't think that you've already seen the questions and you can guess what they're going to be. It will be 1 point for each correct answer, and we have my beautiful assistants, David and Alex, who will be doing the scoring. Very high tech. So please, round of applause for the special assistants. Okay. And I am your fabulous host, Esther. This was all my brainchild, so if you hate it, please complaints to David. So, without further ado, let's start the game. Okay, you ready? First of all, our teams. We have Team 1, the practitioners. Woohoo! And we have Team 2, donors and the private sector. Let me introduce you to our teams. So, participants in Team 1 of the practitioners, please can you tell us who you are and where you come from? John, would you like to start?
Sure. Hi, everyone. John Sauer. I come from Washington, D.C., which is in the United States of America.
And which organization do you represent?
Population Services International. I'm the Senior Technical Advisor for WASH. That's very practical, practitioner.
Thank you. Rick, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Rick Johnston from the World Health Organization in Geneva, a very practitioner-based organization.
Thank you. And Mingma, can you make sure you talk into the microphone for me?
Hi, this is Mingma Sherpa. I'm from Simavi, Nepal.
Okay, everyone have a little dance. Good. Thank you very much. That's Team 1, everyone. Okay. Team 2, would you like to introduce yourself? Steph, please go first.
Yes, I'm Stephanie Smith from Xylem, and I'm based in the U.S.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ines Breda. I am from Kronfors, and I'm based in Denmark.
Hello, everyone. I'm James Dumpert with USAID, based in D.C.
Thank you very much. Team 2, everyone. And I realized I didn't introduce myself. Everyone, I'm Esther. I work at UNICEF, and I work on innovation at the WASH Innovation Hub, which you're going to hear a little bit more about later on. Okay, if everyone's ready, shall we start with the first question?
Oh, geez.
Okay, so question 1. I need my question card. So, to Team 1, which is the practitioners, let's go back. Let's not do that. Yeah. If innovation was a superhero, what did the donors and the private sector say its superpower would be? Okay, I want 3 answers from you. Okay, John, go on.
Finance.
Finance, okay. Rick?
Lubricator. Finance can lubricate friction and solve problems. It's a superpower.
Has anyone ever seen the outtakes of game shows? I feel like this is going to be one of them.
This is a family show, dude.
Yeah, it's a family show, Rick. Mingma.
Well, I also had finance.
Okay, so we have 2 for finance
and one for
lubrication. Let's see what they said. I'm just going to quickly ask before I reveal. Did any of you say lubrication?
I did.
It wasn't on the form I got.
No, it was on another form.
I-
on another website.
Oh, this is getting good.
Sorry, I got my games confused.
I see that. Okay, so here's what they actually said. We had the ability to withstand failure. And actually, what was written was not the ability to withstand failure, but the ability to withstand failure after failure after failure. Which I think is a really good point. And not, personally, what I would have expected the private sector and donors to have said. So that's the first answer. So no points.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So lubrication does help to withstand failure.
What are you failing at, Rick? Okay, the second one, open-mindedness. So none of you thought about this one either, which I thought was a pretty obvious one for a superpower. And the last one, making people's lives better.
Okay, that's finance. You can't have a good life without some money, right?
Did you see the rules?
Oh.
Yeah, I get to decide. So, practitioners.
Rule number 1.
No
Esther gets to
points for the
decide.
practitioners. So, sorry, Dave.
Should we celebrate or?
Could be like the World Cup.
Okay. Next question for the private sector and practitioners. Funnily enough, this is the one question that you both did answer.
I
So,
think we know what we're going to say.
Lubrication.
for everyone else, if innovation was a superhero, what did the practitioners say its superpower would be? So, I need 3 guesses from you. Is lubrication one of your guesses?
Absolutely.
I will definitely say yes.
Yeah. Money and lube go together. So that's, yeah, so definitely lubricant.
Yeah, and we go with the finance as well. But I was thinking, should we consider like capacity building or something that you could spread knowledge, or you could increase skills. Like I don't know,
What
could
would
you
practitioners think?
do? Yeah.
Okay, I need your answers, please.
Okay, so
Lubricant,
Finance.
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 and capacity.
Yes.
Infinite capacity.
Infinite this knowledge power.
I
It's
feel
like-
like that could actually be a Marvel superhero.
yeah, you could.
Okay, here's,
Capacity woman.
it would have to be a woman. Okay, here's what they actually said. Seeing into the future. Yeah, sorry.
That's boring. That's boring.
Oh, yeah.
Boring.
Boring is a good one. I
You're
did.
smart.
Funds available at any instant. I will give 1 point.
We got
We're off
it.
the board, guys. The concept works.
So lube.
And the final one, making things affordable, which is technically finance again, and they did suggest finance twice.
But they
Yes.
didn't.
Give
They
me 2
didn't. No,
points.
no, they went to capacity.
Wait.
Way to go.
Double counting.
There's some monitoring people who can help me with it. Okay, so we move on
Totally
to
different.
question 2. This one goes back to team 1. So how did donors and the private sector define innovation? Yeah, good question, right? I like that the audience thinks this is a good question. I like the sound effects. Please, audience, unfortunately online you can't hear, but there were a couple of oohs.
What have we got?
We're going to try and drum up the drama.
got this?
Okay.
I got one.
Now, if this works, there should
You
be
got something here?
so dramatic music. Yeah, you've got some dramatic music
Okay.
to make your decision over. Come on.
Good.
All the production values. Okay. Online, you can suggest what you might think they've defined as innovation.
R&D.
And okay, anyone in the audience, do you want to shout out while they're debating? No.
Anyone over here want to
R&D,
shout?
Too big a
breaking
question.
silos.
Is it
Buzzword. It's not buzzword bingo, guys. That's a
Okay,
different
okay.
game show.
Scalability.
Okay, here we go. I need your
yeah.
answers, please.
I think.
I need 3.
Okay. Research and development.
Okay.
What was the other one you just said?
Breaking silos.
Okay.
The last one you just said.
Scalability?
Scalability.
Uh-oh.
Oh! I like the facial expressions, guys.
I think we gotta get some points here. Some points.
Okay, so what have we got? We've got getting things done in a new way.
That's breaking silos.
No, what? No.
Audience, hang on, let's get the audience involved. Is getting things done in a new way breaking silos?
No.
Yes.
No.
Funnily enough, a lot of people from the private sector are saying no, and a lot of people on the practitioner side are saying yes.
So what do you do, Esther?
I'll give it to you
Throw me
only
a-
because you're losing so badly.
We'll take it.
Sympathy points.
It's still
Okay.
a point.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next one. Iterative systems thinking.
Oh, God, we forgot.
What does that
I mean,
mean?
I know
I
exactly
don't
who
even know
that
what that
is.
means.
I thought that was the
Inez, would you like to explain what that means?
Well, in my head is that we are. I feel like it's challenging to capture learnings from when things fail. And we talked about, it fails again, it fails again. And we have to think, okay, we'll do it one time and it won't go 100. So let's think again and just iterate it and not be afraid of it. So that's why I suggested. Yeah.
I like that one. Thanks, Inez.
Welcome.
I'm not going to give you a point for it, though. I saw Alex.
Maybe half.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should get points for
We don't have halves. Production didn't stretch that. Alex, stop cheating. Yeah, I forgot. This was a special question. Funnily enough, the official answers I have are getting things done in a new way, the iterative systems thinking, and a new way of doing something. So 2 of you actually said the same thing. So this is the only one where we actually had agreement across 2 people.
And breaking silos gets 2 points then.
No, because otherwise they are not losing so badly.
The private sector not.
Your time will come.
That's not
They get 1 point.
R&D is normal.
I'm strict. Okay, question 2 to team 2.
Not for us.
What is the role that NGOs and practitioners think they play in driving innovation for WASH solutions? Okay, and if my production values work, we should have music again while you work this one out. Yeah, here it comes. I think. Yes.
Is the implementation? Yeah, I think it's not. Implementation.
Again, online, feel free to make your guesses, and in person, feel free to suggest some things that you might want to have.
Test beds. Test beds.
Test beds.
Wait, is that
Yeah.
I like the coordinated dance moves.
Knowledge.
Do we get an extra point?
We're driving innovation.
Knowledge.
Okay.
feedback?
Okay.
Feedback.
Okay. I need your 3 answers, guys.
Okay.
Go for it.
I don't blame you for not joining in the dance moves. Okay, what are your answers?
Okay. Knowledge generators, brokers.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm trying to get in as many buzzwords
I
as possible.
see this. I think we should have had a separate game. Next time, guys, I'll do buzzword bingo sheets for everyone, and then we can play 2 games at once. Okay.
Then it's the feedback from the implementation, right? So giving the feedback of how it went.
Okay.
Yep.
On, Steph?
And then I think the other one was just implementation, test beds, a place to try technologies and innovations.
Okay, let's see what they actually said. Can you feel the tension in the room? Okay. I will give this as a point, but bridge research in the field. I think you guys were kind of there.
correct.
There you go. Come on, guys, they got one.
Yeah, it's a fair comp.
We only have
That was Rick's. Okay, enabling environment.
What?
Yeah, as one of the roles that NGOs and practitioners play for driving innovation. Guys,
Knowledge is in there, though, right? You know.
nice try.
No, but they say they think they have. So that's why I was. Yeah.
And one might say they think they're doing the enabling
Exactly.
environment, but,
Exactly.
you know,
That's what I mean.
We'll debate that later. And then the last one is bringing innovations to the market. Now, this is what
that was not
NGOs...
test bedding.
John, would you like to explain your answer here?
Oh, is that my answer?
Totally your answer.
Maybe.
I mean, everyone knew it was your answer.
Well, I mean, we support getting like supply chain going so that you can actually have an innovation in the market. Like, for example, we worked with Splash in Ethiopia, helped them to identify plastics manufacturer where they can make their hand washing stations, things like that, right, Eric?
And
Bringing
again,
innovations to the market. There you go.
we're going to have some breakout sessions after the game show, and I would say that if you're interested in this, go and speak with Anissa, because these are some of the challenges that I think Grundfos are looking at, and Daigo's here as well from Lixol, also, and Sato discussing some of these from a private sector perspective. I think it's interesting that this came up in the practitioners, because I don't know if the private sector would agree on this one.
It's not like we've
surprised.
never brought a Sato Pan to any markets. No, never.
But that's the thing, in sanitation we have, but both Steph and Inez are water.
Well, that's because they haven't worked with PSI yet.
Well, fostering partnerships. Okay, question 3 for team 1. What do the private sector and donors see as the biggest constraint to work or supplying remote, difficult locations for WASH? I missed off the for WASH. Sorry. Okay. Oh, hang on.
Biggest
Music.
constraint.
It's coming.
There's 3 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Again, online people, feel free to try and place some guesses. In the audience, if you'd
human
like to shout
resources.
anything out to my not so greatly worded question,
Yeah.
feel
Human
free.
resources and capacity. Remote
They're not
locations.
doing so well here yet.
Transport, logistics, transport
Supply
and
chain.
logistics.
Supply chain
Yeah,
and
yeah.
logistics.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
And HR, and what was the third one?
HR.
could be, I don't know, is
I
it
know.
transport or is it
Wasn't expecting
finance?
Okay.
Yeah.
Transport and finance.
They said
finance.
HR.
Let's put
HR is
finance.
so important.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Are you guys trying to plant ideas and throw them off? Oh my goodness, I didn't know
not
how competitive
suggesting-
this team was going to be. I'm really sorry, guys.
By the way, David was supposed to give us
Yeah.
2 points last round.
Was he?
Yes, you said audience participant. Thank you.
I feel like I've lost control of my own game show.
Do you want the answers?
Oh, yeah, no, but not from that. Yes, from you.
Yes.
I want the answers. Thanks, thanks, John.
I think
Human resource or staffing
lack
or
of
lack of human resource.
resources.
Yeah,
Supply chain or transport, logistics,
yeah.
and finance.
Okay, not
mean, yeah.
bad, guys, not bad. So this time we've got lack of resources, material, human, and financial.
Yeah.
Finally.
It makes sense.
We have got capacity building. I have a box of goods, so now what do I do with it? So,
All right.
yes. Are you managing? Are you giving a half point?
No.
I don't know what.
No,
He's
it's an
making a
airplane.
paper airplane. Nice.
Yeah, he's
I mean-
innovating something.
I see this. This is live innovation, everyone. And then the last one is the cost of logistics becoming high. Yeah, you
Wait,
can.
put them up.
Yeah, that's a, yeah. There you go.
Put 'em
There
up.
we go.
All right.
So well done.
Yes.
Oh, sorry,
All right.
sorry. I can't multitask particularly well. Right.
So they got 3 points for that round?
They got 3 points for
did.
that
We
round.
should have had 4, really, but
What? Now, Rick is in charge of monitoring and data.
Hey.
Pick them up.
Esther,
They already have 3.
there are synergies to be gained by having resources, capacity, and affordable costs.
I'm not going to be mansplained by you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Anyway, what we don't need in this sector, Rick. Okay. For the practitioner team.
Oh no.
I don't think anyone saw this game show going this way. How do practitioners foster collaboration for WASH innovation
that a lot.
projects? I feel like
Really well.
I have put a
It's the
typo.
answer.
Yes. No, I haven't. This is right. Okay. So, dramatic music. Yes. Come on, guys. What are your 3 answers?
How much?
What did we say? Yeah. Yeah. I think
Oh wow.
Field
Silence is deafening from the private sector.
Is it?
Not sure I know what the question is.
Can you be better on the question?
Oh, we got them. They're on the ropes.
How do
They got nothing.
practitioners foster collaborations and partnerships for WASH innovation projects?
No, we can read. we don't understand what it means. I mean, but thank you.
How do they bring people together to scale innovation and do innovation well?
Yeah, we can explain that to you later if you like.
Identification, maybe a case.
What have I done? What have I started?
Creating awareness. Partner identification. Sure.
Is he trying to cheat again?
Workshops. Partner identification.
David, you're supposed to be the UN. The reason we're not in the game show is because we're the, the reliable.
Music's up.
Diplomatic people.
Time's up.
Okay, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I need 3 answers, please.
Yes.
Into the mic.
Workshops, more workshops.
Well, yeah. That's a fair comment.
Yeah, you can have a bonus point for that. And while I don't disagree, none of them were bold enough to write it down. So I will give you that as a freebie because you got points. So you can give me 3 additional responses.
Okay.
Well,
Point.
you can
try
And it doesn't-
identification. So identification of partners and trying to connect.
Stakeholder
Yeah,
mapping.
stakeholder mapping. That was one.
Definitely something
Foster
that the show would do.
Game shows.
Yeah, joining game shows.
Game shows, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
And then bringing in outside resources, like
Okay.
outside financing.
So, let's see what they actually said. Seed funding. Yay! So to try new things at pilot to pave the way for scale. So well done.
Good job.
We've got,
Last minute.
I can't hold tasks, I just don't have enough hands. Okay, devising clear pathways. So this is from demonstration to collaboration to learnings, sustainability and scale up. So practitioners see that they play a role in bridging those last few bits and pieces to reach especially the underserved communities. And then the last one, which is my favorite. Agreeing the problem to solve.
Which you get to through a
Workshop.
Which we already got a point for.
Well, you already got a point for that. They already gave
I
us a
object.
point for that.
I
The main
object.
reason she got the point is because she was so quick off the mark with it that I couldn't
Your
say no.
Honor.
Okay.
Objection.
You didn't expect it to go this way. You were so
I
confident.
didn't expect 2 bonus points for workshops.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, your next question. How do the private sector and donors see scale? Ooh, dramatic
Okay,
music.
Scale.
Don't.
Scale.
Answer this is so predictable.
Okay.
Thank you.
I can provide clean water.
Mainstreaming into government systems? Or
Buyout.
I'm going to have to rush you. Okay,
Sustainability?
I need your 3 answers, and you need these points.
How about
Okay.
financial
Go on then. This is your last question, so your last opportunity for points. No pressure.
Hostile takeover.
Of us, of this game? Uh-huh. No, he means financial sustainability.
Oh, okay. Is that what everyone else heard? Yep, go on.
What was
What was the question again?
mainstreaming?
How do the private sector and donors see scale?
Mainstreaming the innovations.
Why are you looking at me?
Yes, mainstreaming the innovations.
Okay, mainstreaming innovations. Okay, I need one more.
No, I already said that. That was the joke one.
I feel like practitioners are struggling with scale.
Sustainability.
Sustainability. Okay, let's see what they actually said.
Say that twice.
Systematic approach of projects, so especially where community engagement and local ecosystems play a big role.
Okay.
Which one of your answers do you want to try and
Sustainability.
fluff into that?
Sustainability.
Yeah.
Sustainability.
I mean, that's why you use a systematic approach.
Ines,
It's
I'm
not
worried your
sustainable if
colleagues
it's
are going
not
to start
systematic.
seeing you very differently. No points. Large numbers of users across various
Mainstreaming.
geographic locations and contexts. I will give you mainstreaming.
Yeah.
They may have
Yes.
a point. Ooh, look at this, guys. It's getting dramatic. Okay, and the last one.
Hostile takeover.
Scale of production and business processes. You may have another point. They got there eventually. Okay. No pressure, guys, but this is the last question. Yeah. And before you ask, yes, we do have a tiebreaker question if it comes to that.
Yes.
Okay? All scenarios have been considered. So, here we go. According to practitioners, what factors influence the adoption and uptake of innovations by communities around the world?
Well, the fact
affordability.
that, the fact that there's not one solution.
Cats.
Cat videos.
I'm going to choose different contestants in the future.
Can we get a point for cat videos, please?
If you show me some.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
fit.
I'm busy.
How much
Honestly. Okay,
fit one solution.
okay.
So the local flora. the
Are you
ecosystem,
guys ready?
Localization.
localization.
Okay, private sector. What do practitioners think influences adoption and uptake of innovations?
Affordability.
Okay,
The local ecosystem.
okay,
And then like simplification of the access to it, right?
okay. So we have potentially a tiebreaker.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So we have the technical and financial superiority over alternatives. Now, unfortunately,
Affordability? No.
I would not say no.
But the
No,
local,
that's
the local
different.
ecosystem.
That's different.
Audience, No. That was a strong no. Strong no, guys. Sorry.
A lot of
We got some
negatives
practitioners
here.
in the audience.
That was kind of harsh.
We have clear demand, usefulness, and added value. Now, I wouldn't put affordability as added value because there's more to that than money.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
I think, yeah, sorry.
What does financial superiority mean, though?
Uh,
Doesn't
Rick?
that mean affordability?
No,
Yeah,
it
that's
doesn't mean
what I'm
affordable.
like-
It means better return on investment compared to alternative options. But it might not be affordable still. It might
I'm
be-
with Rick on that one. Sorry. Supply division would agree with you. Sorry. Okay, but the last one is affordability. Who knew? It's almost like I scripted it.
You got it.
Okay. So, for everyone online who can't see this,
Dance competition. Dance
yeah, we have a tie break. We have 7 points to the practitioners somehow. I think some cheating was involved, and 7 points to the private sector and donors, who I feel were a little bit more ethical, but still not 100%. So, we have a tiebreaker.
Oh, Esther,
Yeah.
would it be possible for us to work together with the private sector and donors on this tiebreaker
Yeah.
question?
Not in this game show. When you do your own, Rick.
How would they foster that collaboration?
Anyway,
Workshops.
so after this, everyone, there'll be a workshop on fostering collaborations. Okay, so I have asked the private sector and donors these questions, and I have asked practitioners these questions, but we haven't asked the users and the beneficiaries, who are the people that we're actually trying to reach. So our tiebreaker question was given to them and not to you guys. So we asked them, would they prefer prefer something that is known but doesn't work reliably within the context of WASH? Or would they prefer something that's designed to be fit for purpose but is unknown?
Who do you ask? Like, what is the audience?
We asked people in Ghana and Laos.
Okay.
Okay? And there should be dramatic music. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
Let's see. I just need an A or a B from you. Okay?
What do you think?
Pardon?
What do you
A
think?
or B?
It's for both of you. It's a tiebreaker.
The thing is that.
I think C. Something new that works reliably.
Don't pick that one.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Wow, they're so serious, these guys.
Maybe the number B.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to have to rush you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to ask the practitioners, which letter would you like, A or B?
Well, of course, we would prefer C, something new which works reliably.
Wouldn't we all?
That's very innovative.
In the absence of C, though, we're gonna plump for B. This.
Okay, and private sector, what letter would you like?
We chose B.
Okay, great. I did not plan for this, but
Dance competition.
there's competition.
Is it we all win?
No, there's only 3 trophies.
Or we all lose?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I'll have
But you
I'm
did a
willing
great
to
show.
forfeit.
You could have
You
one.
can have my trophy.
We can
Okay.
have one.
And
No.
the 2 beautiful judges could have the other 2.
listen, no. I would like to
You're
ask
the
you.
real winners here.
You've all gone for B. Do you think there was a difference between Laos and Ghana on this?
Ooh. Well, if you're asking, I'm assuming yes.
Okay. And do you guys
Well,
think? There
no.
was-
I'm this is not. I am thinking yes.
She's asking us the stereotype.
No,
Yeah.
we don't think.
I'm
We
g-
think they were. The
You
same.
think they were the same?
Yeah.
Okay. And you think?
I don't know.
Were they
I
different?
There was a difference.
I think there's a difference.
Let's commit. You went
can
with it.
vamp.
Let's
Oh,
commit.
Jesus.
You were very.
We have to be different. just to
Okay.
be
So there's a difference.
You had
Okay.
strong conviction.
Here is the joint response. So 40% of the people we asked said that they would rather not have something known but reliable. So a lot of people wanted something that's fit for purpose and unknown. In the innovation space, that means there's room for innovation if we get it right. However, in Ghana, there was a 30% to 70% split. In Laos, it was a 55 for A and a 45 for B. So our winners are the private sector and donors. Woohoo! So,
Okay.
I do, before we give out our prizes, I do just want to clarify, we got some beautiful responses to this question from communities, and I have to very much thank our teams in Ghana and Laos who went above and beyond to do this. But one of the responses was, you should not pour your pot of water when the weather turns cloudy. You cannot be too sure about a promise that you have not experienced, which I thought was a lovely way to think about how we address innovation. The other is selecting unknown designs will save us time, often wasted in trying to implement the same known design with the expectation of gaining improved services, which are not often achieved. You cannot do the same old thing and expect new results, which translates in this conference to business as usual, which is being bandied around quite a lot. But I think thinking of it in this way and what business as usual really means and how we can apply that at innovation for the communities that we're trying to serve is really important. So, with that, I would like to ask Frederick from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Denmark to come and award the trophies to our winners. Oh yes, professional handshakes. Would you like to come up and receive your beautiful trophies, which I expect to get photos of on everyone's desk in the next week. And if they fall apart, just super glue them back together. Thank you. Steph, look at this. Oh, and James. So, can we just have an official photo with our trophy giver? Thank you. Okay, and to our losers, thank you very much for taking part. Your attempts at trying to win were much appreciated. So, round of applause for the losers as well. Thank you.
I think we were the crowd taker.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so that ends our game show and hopefully has got you thinking a little bit about different perspectives from different areas on innovation. So with this, I'm going to hand over to Dave, who's going to talk a little bit about some of the work we're doing at UNICEF, and then I'll explain what we're going to do after that.
Well, that was a lot of fun, hopefully, but we have to get over to the more serious bit, otherwise we don't get paid. So, as Esther mentioned right at the start of this, we're here with this has been set up by the UNICEF Climate Resilient Wash Hub. And the Hub is an initiative by UNICEF to try and help scale innovation within the wash sector. It's something we've all recognised as a major problem with. I didn't notice anybody picking up the prize and when Esther threw the question out right at the start. So it is something that we all are struggling with. We're in trouble with SDG 6, and there's no point in trying to pretend otherwise. And with nearly every aspect of SDG 6. So I think even looking beyond 2030, for much of SDG 6, we're struggling even to hit 2040 at the moment on current predictions. And for parts of it, maybe even 2050. So there really does need to be a change in the thinking. Enter the Hub. Now, I'm not promising that we're going to solve the world's problems. It'd be nice to think we will. But we have a vision, and that's really to be a global home for building, accelerating, and scaling transformational climate resilient solutions. That transformational is very, very fundamental. It's not just about go and find a few new ideas that make things a little better. At current forecasts, we're likely to miss the SDG by over 1 billion people in terms of access to basic water, let alone safe access. Similar sorts of numbers for sanitation. Again, let alone safely managed sanitation. So, in order to make those changes, we need to be thinking very, very differently. As a colleague once said, this is not about trying to make a faster horse. This is putting the horse aside and looking to build the electric car. It's not forgetting the step-by-step processes as we go along, because doing the basics right is still going to be fundamental to what we do. And in trying to achieve that, the Hub is actually looking at identifying targeted strategic solutions. So we will work with a small handful of solutions which we think really have the potential to scale significantly. Well, let's try there. And we're going to do that using 3 approaches. The first is a portfolio approach. Those of you familiar with it, you'll be aware that it means we're going to look at a small selection of approaches, as I've just described. We're going to try and be identifying the most promising approaches to the biggest challenges that we have globally in WASH. And then facilitating the scaling of these. One of the beauties that UNICEF brings is the biggest laboratory, the biggest practitioner field in the world. We're working across 100 countries. That is what we have the opportunity to bring to it. It's not the only thing. And we also realise UNICEF is certainly not going to be doing this alone. Which brings us to the importance of partnerships in this process. We really need to be working collectively and collaboratively better. We saw there's some differences of opinions here, but broadly, we're all heading in the same direction. But those differences of opinions also reflect differences of approaches. So there really is a need to start bringing some of those elements together. The second element that the hub will be working on is probably not such a big deal to everybody here, but we know within UNICEF we need to be doing this better. And importantly, in the countries that we're working in, we need to be helping them understand how to innovate and how to incorporate, adapt and adopt innovation and work with it in country. We saw from the last question, there really is an appetite, even down at the beneficiary level, to have something new, because there's a feeling that whatever we've got isn't generally working. And that's, for me, that was an exciting piece of information and a surprise, to be honest, even though they're two countries I've worked in. So, and finally, the third point that I'm talking about talks to those partnerships. We need the hub to become a global centre of excellence for facilitating partnerships, for facilitating knowledge and information. We're not going to pretend we're going to invent all the new ideas. We're not going to pretend we're going to be the centre of everything. We can't be. What we can try and do, using the leverage that we have as UNICEF, the ability to work with governments, with private sector, with other partners, is hope to try and bring some of those together. In many cases, you have one person in Sri Lanka working on a new idea. You have a development bank looking at picking that idea up, some country offices where we see that that might be applicable, and a donor in Northern Europe who's interested in investing in that. From UNICEF's role, if we're able to just connect those dots, just because of that unique perspective we do have, then that's a massive win, even if we're not even part of the project. So that element of facilitating and being a real hub is the third aspect of what we're really trying to do. So, sorry, given we had this session, I thought it was an opportunity to put that out there as an indication of what we are trying to achieve with the WASH Hub. The hub has only really been in existence this year and partly through this year. And so this for us is very much a learning session. We would really, really appreciate if you have ideas, talk to us. If you have questions, talk to us. If you want to understand something better about us, or you would like us to understand something better about you or your problems, talk to us. We're hoping that going forward, we're able to be coming to the table and offering a bit more. But picking up the element of scaling and the challenges of all having it, I think that might take us into our next session, which is a workshop for the private sector members. No, it's really a marketplace. So I'll hand over to Esther, and Esther can talk you through it. Thank you all.
Thanks, Dave. Okay, so we're in the perfect room for this. We're going to break out into little groups. So here's what we're going to do. We have 5 marketplaces. One is online. So people online, I'm hoping we haven't forgotten you. I know there are a few of you there. And Sunny has gotten up at 4 a.m. So can we just have a big round of applause for Sunny's dedication to this? Thanks, Sunny. So for those of you online, you're going to get to hear about how UNICEF is working in the region of Latin and Central America. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Caribbean, maybe. Sorry, Sunny. But Sunny's work in the region is around working with different actors, and the variety of scenarios we're working in there go from typhoon and hurricane response, through to mass displacement, transient communities, and we have traditional communities as well that really do lack services and often get forgotten about. So Sunny's going to be talking about some of the challenges with scale and innovation in that setting for those of you online. For those of you lucky enough to see this live, one time only game show, we have 4 of us in the room and you can choose who you're going to go to. We're going to spend about half an hour on this, and so that we're not over ambitious with time, you've got 15 minutes, so you can choose 2 people. We have Anissa, can you just stand up and wave? Anissa, who's from Grundfos, who's going to be talking about some of the challenges with SMEs and scale, and really the business, getting down to the nitty-gritty of how do we address finance so that we can have those small, medium enterprises providing the services that we need around water. We have Daigo, if you just stand up and wave. He's from Sato, and he's going to be talking about the challenges with scaling toilets. So if you're a toilet person or a water person, we've covered all bases. Hygiene promotion, didn't think on that. Possibly part of my problem. Anyway, and then we have Farai, if you just stand up. Farai is going to be talking about climate resilient wash and some of the work we're doing around drilling and groundwater, more than the climate resilient. But they all link in together. This is the whole thing. If we can address, reach some of the deeper groundwater and boreholes, then we can address water in climate sensitive areas. So Farai's going to be talking about the challenges of that. And if you haven't had enough of me already, I will be talking about the challenges of scaling products from UNICEF's perspective at Supply Division, and how we've been doing product-based innovation, and what we see as the challenges when your user is not your buyer. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. The way we're going to do this is we have an antechamber, which is what I've decided to call it because it sounds grand, just outside the door. So I'm going to kick Farai outside. Mainly because she won't take it personally. So if you're interested in Farai, please go outside the door and she will congregate there. If you're interested in Grundfos and water, we're going to send Anissa behind the curtain because we've been told this room is empty, so we can go a little bit that way. So Grundfos is going to be behind the curtain. Daigo and Sato are going to be down here. And anyone who's willing to defy gravity with me, God help you all, we're going to take up a space in the top corner somehow. We're going to work it out. So we have half an hour on this, so you'll get about 15 minutes before Alex or Dave comes around and says it's time to change. So for those of you online, hopefully Sunny is able to speak, and then you can ask questions, and she's going to be having some support from Mark, our colleague at the Office of Innovation, who works on hygiene kits. I have got hygiene covered, yes. So he's working on hygiene kits and getting beneficiary feedback. So that's for the online guys. Everyone else, you can get a break from your headphones, and then we'll do a quick summary of 10 minutes at the end if you can wait that long for lunch. Thanks very much.
Sunny, can you explain maybe?
So basically, Mark, I have to share my screen so that people can see the questions that we'll be asking.
Yeah.
And at the same, and that's happening through Zoom.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Now you're on actually, Sunny.
yeah, I think it's working now. Yeah.
Okay. Funkar det nu? Funkar det? Alltså det är på plattform. They're saying that it's shared now to the platform.
Yes, it is. So you can go ahead, Sunny.
Okay.
Okay. It's just there is a delay, and I can hear but anyways.
Yeah, you can mute the stream on the digital platform.
That question comes from the fact that often product innovation, it's more attractive, it's more probable, it's what people think of often when they think of innovation. But to be able to reach scale and accelerate SDGs or the things we're working in now, a delay.
Yeah, Sunny, we're working out the audio issue. Sunny, did you click on the? Did you click on the volume icon on the digital platform? Please do that so that you can't hear the sound from there.
I don't have a. I don't really hear the. I don't really have the volume icon here, and if I activate it, then I hear myself delay, and on the top of it, I need to be speaking. So my computer capture.
Sunny, maybe you can close the digital platform page while you're speaking.
Close the digital platform.
Yeah, when you're speaking, at least. If you can't, end the sound on the page.
It actually has gone away. I don't know if your technician has done something with it, but can you hear me now? This is really not working out well. Hey Jenny, I wonder if I should get out of Zoom altogether and just do the digital platform without sharing my screen. What do you think?
Yeah, that way you can only communicate via the chat. So everything
but
should be fine on here, but if you hearing yourself from the digital platform, you may need to close it when
let
you're
me get
speaking.
out of Zoom and do that because I think that's the whole point. So let me get out of here. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
you. Jenny, do you have the link for the platform you could share here in the chat, please?
Yes, I will type to you in the chat.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is far from ideal, so we're very sorry. But it seems that the platforms and the digital platform in Zoom doesn't connect, and so I'm going to be speaking, but unfortunately I will not be able to hear you. So as I was saying, the first part we're looking at is how governments can innovate on water systems and policy. We often look at ourselves in academia, in the UN agencies or NGOs, etc., innovation, but we would like to look at a bit beyond. Also, the second point on how to incentivize and support systems and process innovation to get to scale, which would go beyond product innovation. We could be thinking of, for example, the water and sanitation operators in LAC that could be having better tariff structures and have sort of better systems around the operations services. And how do we get that to be scaled, to be uptaken by other operators and service providers, and get the tariffs received from the operators to be used in an effective way, looking at households and areas that don't have appropriate coverage, for example. Yeah, anyways. The third point is how can we find ways to innovate and expand services to the left behind, the most vulnerable households, which in LAC are often people living in rural areas, people of indigenous communities or Afro-descendant communities, and so we're looking at how can we use local solutions and innovate around those to be able to expand services to the left behind households. And a follow-on question on that sort of context is, ability to pay can be a challenge to the very poorest, the poorest households. How do we innovate and scale results for the very poorest households that don't have an ability to pay? And then the final question is, how can we get the private sector to join innovative policy efforts and scale it across the region? For example, we have Brazil, Ecuador, Peru, Mexico discussing and writing up policy and law around menstrual hygiene dignity to ensure, for example, that in schools, menstrual hygiene sanitary pads are available free of charge as soap or toilet paper would be. And the question that we have from a regional office point of view is, how do we get that policy from paper to the ground, to the schools, to people? And how can we scale this type of progressive policy and law across the region, including partnering and working with the private sector to advance on these type of agenda? So those were the 4 questions we had for you for a discussion, and considering some of the LAC context and challenges. I unfortunately can't hear you, but I'm going to try and join you in the chat so that at least I can read what you're saying. And again, we are very sorry for this challenge. Thank you, Jenny, for supporting, even the chat is not available on the digital platform, but I see that we had Brian saying that one of the problems with mainstreaming innovation is getting them accepted. Many work or innovations are not included in the basic test, prevents the next generation learning about it. And people who are hesitant about trying something new need to see the new options alongside other options that have been around for a while. Indeed, and thank you for your comments, Brian. I see Mark is commenting that is interesting regarding process innovations, that this is something that links to how we can use existing markets to procure from instead of sourcing from international markets. Are there any other messages, Jenny, that you can see from the chat, which you could add here? Okay, there are no other messages. I think we will leave it there. I mean, maybe with the delay in getting this session going, the 23 participants online may have taken a coffee pause. And so I appreciate Mark and Brian's determination to stick to the session, and well noted on the issues raised and the points being made by both of them. Thank you. I guess, Jenny, I will wait for the session to come back on, and maybe Mark, we can inform Esther that we weren't able to have a proper conversation and discussion. So the outcome of our group work might be a bit limited. Sorry about that. Oh, I see one more message coming in from Brian. Once innovations have been trialed, tested and proven, perhaps start calling them innovations. Indeed, at what point, Brian, do we call a tested and proven innovation a policy or a program approach or whatever we could use to refer to that, without using innovation itself? Because often it's true that there is a bit of a taboo associated with the word innovation. Some people think that innovations haven't been tested when you hear the word, it's something new, something that is being trialed. And so it's true that at one point we would need to sort of think about how do we market or communicate around that innovation. And again, I think looking at existing local markets to procure from instead of sourcing from international markets, like Mark had mentioned, it's an interesting point. He was clarifying that he was referring to local markets. So I'm just reading through. There's also another comment from Brian. Thanks, Brian, for keeping this going. Brian shared as an example, CLTS is not called innovative, but it was once. And indeed, it's nice because it's not like a product innovation per se, and and in the end, after being tested and finding to have results, we now don't call it anymore. It's a great point, Ryan. Yeah, I mean, in a way, when we think about block tariffs or for operators, or when we think about Yeah, that's on tariff. We, sometimes we think of, business models and looking at more cost-effective ways or looking at ways to expand services. And yes, perhaps from the operator's point of view, this is just another way of working. But it's about how do we get that new way of working uptaken, and good practices shared, good innovative practices shared. Okay, so when you say, Jenny, that they want to go back to one site now, the session is coming back on, right? Because it's been 30 minutes, so I will stop sharing my screen and everything. Okay, well, again, for people online, thank you very much for sticking around, particularly Brian and Mark. Much appreciated. I'm sorry that the technical platforms didn't allow for a proper conversation. Thank you.
Hello? I don't know that this is. Okay, sorry. Okay, thanks very, very much, everybody. Sorry, if we can just grab a seat really quickly and everybody can get to lunch or continue conversations or run away. Entirely up to you. And if you're multi-skilled, you can do all three. Okay, I'll try and wrap this up really, really quickly, mainly because there's a really bright light shining directly into my eyes when I look up to all of you. I'd like to start by thanking enormously the speakers and the contestants that we had today. Really, really appreciated. Without all of you, we wouldn't have had a session, so incredibly appreciated. I'd like to thank Esther as well, who did an enormous job. And finally, I'd also like to thank MFA, who have been funding the Hub since our outset, so that's also really appreciated. Could I just ask for a round of applause as a thank you to everybody? Thanks. Okay, a couple of really quick points that came out of some of those discussions towards the end and actually fed on from everything else. Financing clearly is coming up in different forms and funding in different forms, but it popped up in places like the Grundfos discussion, in the LAC online discussion. So it's an area that we really need to be looking at as the hub, and an area I think we all need to be looking at exploring in terms of innovation. Policy is one that, again, Grundfos and LAC raised as challenging areas for innovation, but it hasn't just been then. It's also come up a couple of times throughout this conference already, quite strongly. So it's an area that often doesn't get talked about when we talk about innovation. We tend to focus on products or on services and approaches. The last mile is going to be the biggest challenge, I think, for all of us. And financing, I think, has a role to play there. But we need to think a little bit strategically about how does financing fit with the needs and the capacity to pay of those in the last mile. And maybe we need to be looking innovatively at how we're blending finance and donor and government support into those areas. And we might need to be rethinking how we do that. SMEs also popped up. Not a huge surprise, but they're going to be fundamental in that last mile. But they're also going to be fundamental in a lot of what we've been talking about. Other than right in the middle of big urban and peri-urban areas, the SMEs are really what drives WASH. So that's going to be fundamental. We heard a bit about adaptation of tech, and I know some of what Esther was talking about, some of what Farah was talking about was picking up tech that's been used elsewhere where there's a bit more money, a bit more capacity, and adapting it into the countries and scenarios and situations we're working in. I think that's one other area. And finally, the last thing I think that really came out of this was the need for feedback. And I caught that almost everywhere across the board. We need better feedback mechanisms. And I think that's going to be fundamental if we're going to understand not just innovation, broadly moving forward in the WASH sector. So that's a bit of a summary. I'd like to thank you all for your active participation. I had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed both the quiz and the rest of the session. I'd encourage you all to reach out to people that you've been talking to and follow up afterwards and take it forward. And again, I'd remind you again, if you've got questions about the hub, what we're doing, what you think we can do, or you think we need to know what you're doing, please yell, let us know. Happy to talk to anybody and everybody. Thank you very much. Enjoy your lunch.